Reading with your kids.
Hola, ni hao, konnichiwa, assalamu alaikum, shalom, jambo, bienvenidos. Hi, my name is Jed Lee, and this is the Reading with Your Kids podcast, coming to you from the beautiful neighborhood of Reedville in the southwest corner of Boston, Massachusetts. Have you subscribed to our show yet? We hope you do. You can subscribe to us on the iHeartRadio app, on Spotify, on Luminary, on Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, wherever you find your podcast. Our guest today is Victoria Allen. She is here to talk to us about her wonderful book, Buddy the Bear. Before we invite Victoria to join us, I want to invite you to come and play with us at the Chicago Toy and Game Fair. That's right, the Reading with Your Kids podcast will be at the largest toy and game fair in North America, the Chicago Toy and Game Fair, on November 23rd and November 24th. Now, on November 23rd, we'll be open from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. On the 24th, it's 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. It's all happening at Navy Pier in Chicago. This is the 17th annual two-day fair, and it is going to be amazing. Kids can have a chance to play with life-size toys and games from all around the world. They can meet inventors, authors, characters, enjoy interactive stage shows, and so much more in this really immersive, hands-on event. And check this out. Listeners of the Reading with Your Kids podcast can save $3 on admission to the toy event of the year. All you need to do is to go to shytag.com, CHITAG.com, shytag.com. Enter the promotional code RWYK, Reading with Your Kids, our initials, RWYK at checkout, and you can save $3 off of each and every ticket you purchase. It's the Chicago Toy and Game Fair, November 23rd and 24th, Navy Pier in Chicago. Join us on the line right now from Atlanta in Georgia. She is the author of a beautiful new picture book called Buddy the Bear. Please welcome to the show, Victoria Allen. Victoria, how are you?
I'm great. Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited.
I'm excited, too. Atlanta is one of my favorite places. Victoria also spends time up in Charlotte, North Carolina, and such a lovely part of the world, the southeast area of the United States.
Yes, it is. I was driving through the city last night, and I was like, wow, this is really beautiful. I mean, Charlotte is beautiful. I think I'm just used to seeing Charlotte, so Atlanta's just like, ooh, new. This is nice. But they're both two beautiful cities that are growing. It's always something new being built.
And you know, one of the things that was that really struck me, my daughter, I've mentioned this many times, my daughter toured with me, performing in my educational magic show when she was younger. And one of the first observations she made the first time we went down south is she said, I can't believe how friendly the people are down here. It's up in Boston. I'm walking to school in downtown Boston. A grown man will bump into me, knock me down, won't even look back at me. But down here, it's, how are you? Nice to meet you. Welcome. So good to see you. You sit down with someone for 5 minutes and you know their whole life story.
That is so true. And sometimes when I'm out with friends, we're from different parts of the area. So one of our friends are up north, I'll just wave. If I just, where I'm walking towards someone, I acknowledge them and be like, hey, how are you? And she'll be like, do you know that person? I'm like, no. But this is how we were born and raised in the South. So.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I picked up on it or if I just grew up. I'm much older than most of the world. I do that around Boston. Me and my wife are walking Augie the Wonder Dog. I'll wave to some. My wife will go, who's that? And I go, I don't know. It's a neighbor. We're just saying hi.
Right. It's a beautiful day. Why not? Hello.
It is a beautiful day, and being friendly is beautiful. And Buddy the Bear is beautiful. And I can't wait for you to tell us all about the story of Buddy the Bear.
Thank you so much. He's the cutest. I like to say he's the cutest bear, but I think I'm biased.
Oh, that's okay. There's no problem at all. He is a cute little bear, and it's a really cute story. Tell us about the story.
So this story was originally going to be just a bedtime routine to help kids prepare for bed. I saw that how kids were attracted to things that glow in the dark. And I remember, if you know, back in the day, there were like glow in the dark shoes, or I had glow in the dark stars on my ceiling, was really big when I was younger. So I just wanted to create something for the younger generation to enjoy that they can read so they're not afraid to go to bed. So we created the character Buddy the Bear and added a story. So as Buddy's preparing for bed, he has his routine. So he has his special goodnight box, and it's filled with his goodnight goodies, which consists of just a couple things. I don't want to give the whole story away, but he has glow-in-the-dark stars that he puts up at night, his fuzzy pajamas, and a rocket nightlight. And there's something special, which I'll just give a little hint. I guess it's a spoiler. His blanket goes missing, right? So blankets are a big deal. Blankets can be a big deal. So then that takes him on a magical journey to the stars, but the catch is he has to make it back in time for his bedtime story, his favorite part of the night. So will he make it back? I know. You know, because I think you read the book already. But, you know, it's a lot of fun. It's something to help kids have a little fun before going to bed and be excited about going to bed.
Yeah, that's beautiful. But blankies are very important to kids.
Yes.
You know what else? You know what else is important to some teenagers?
What?
Pillows.
Their blankets still?
No, they're pillows. My daughter on that same tour I was talking about, our first time down to the southern states. We're staying at this really, really sweet little hotel in I don't know, part of Georgia. There was nothing else around there. And she forgot her pillow at the hotel, and she didn't realize it until we're in Orlando. And so we called the hotel, and they said, "Oh yes, we have, Mr. Doherty. No problem. We'll send it along."
Oh, thank goodness. But I know I had a lot of friends in college that still had blankets or a Snoopy, like a stuffed animal that they had as a kid. But, you know, as you grow up, you just have these things that you just like having around. So at any age, you can still carry around these items. You might put them in a closet or something, but they're still there.
Well, I think they conjure up some really nice memories. And, you know, I think Buddy the Bear probably fell in love with his blankie when he was wrapped up one night with his mom reading a story together.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yep.
What? Now, I know you said that this was inspired because you created this great character and you wanted to develop a story about bedtime and about bedtime routines. Why was that important to you?
I would say that I've been told for a real long time that I've always been good with kids, and my parents wanted me to be a teacher. So it's funny that you thought I was a teacher, but in a way, I am, leading in classrooms and the students. But I just wanted to create something because bedtime was a big thing for me. I used to get read to at night a story. And I just enjoyed stuffed animals, and I just always wanted to create something that kids could enjoy.
When you think, it makes a lot of sense that some kids are nervous about bedtime because they're going into a dark place usually, and they're going. When you think about it, they're going into this mysterious world of dreams that they really don't have any control over. And, and for most of us, that's okay. But for a lot of kids, that can sound kind of scary. And it can make bedtime a really contentious part of the day. So I really love the idea of creating a story that can help parents create a routine with their kids around bedtime to take away some of that fear.
Exactly, because I was one of those kids that had a hard time transitioning. So my parents would let me come sleep in the bed with them, but at a certain point they told me that no, you have to sleep in your own bed, right? Because they want to, be able to enjoy their room themselves. They want me to be independent in my room as well. So with a Buddy the Bear, it's something to take their mind off maybe the angst or anxiety they may be having about going to bed in the dark, with glow-in-the-dark stars. So with Buddy, you have the book, you have the Buddy, and then we have glow-in-the-dark stars too, that help the kids just transition into the night and just add a little fun to kind of take their mind off of any fears that they may have. Just to make it more fun. And anytime you can make things more fun, it kind of takes your mind off of all those, scary things you may be thinking.
You're right. It is really important for us to create that special time with our kids. So it's not a battle. We don't want to be fighting with our kids when they go to bed. And yes, in an ideal world, you say to the kids it's bedtime and they just pop up and they go right to bed. But
right.
I don't know about you, but I haven't found that ideal world yet.
Right, definitely not. Even with friends, you still hear, even if they say bath time or something like that, they know what that leads to, right? That leads to bedtime. Mm-hmm. So you can hear, them, maybe a scream or something like that, and you're like, oh, I wish you can create something fun for them. So it's the time is now. We have Buddy the Bear.
We do have Buddy the Bear. And you were mentioning, and I have to take my hat off to you, mentioning you have the stars, and Buddy the Bear isn't just a story time. Buddy the Bear is like a brand. There's a lot going on with Buddy the Bear.
Right. And really I have to say that comes from the readers and the parents, because it just started as a book, and really I created the first book and I handed it to family and friends and read in front of classrooms, and kids, it sparks their imagination. They start shouting out, well, I want a bear, or I want a shirt, or I want glow-in-the-dark stars. And so that's what really helped push me to really create this brand. And it really came from my readers just being so excited about it. And I said, let's do it. Let's create it. Let's bring them to life.
Now, there are a lot of authors who come on the show, and they have a great idea, and they have people telling them, oh, I love this idea, I love this character, and they say, well, I'd love to have a stuffed animal, I'd love to have stars, I'd love to have this or that, but they're not able to get it together. How did you manage to not only create this beautiful story, but just to create this business?
I was joking with one of my friends, and I told her that I was in Buddy the Bear University, because I'm continuously learning more about Buddy the Bear, right, in different ways. And so I did a lot of research, YouTube, and I used Fiverr just to get images together. So I would say that I had to build a team, because I can't do everything myself. Mm-hmm. I'm very creative in getting it down on paper, but then I have my editor. I have a formatter that puts it in the format to prepare it to be uploaded, to be printed out into a book. I reached out on Alibaba. Mm-hmm. Anyone heard of Alibaba? So that's where you can reach out and talk to people who actually manufacture teddy bears for a living. So I did a lot of asking around, and I understand that a lot of people are busy these days, so they may not get back to you. So you have to do it yourself sometimes, and it can be frustrating, but it's so rewarding. So Fiverr.com and Alibaba really help actually bring these ideas to life.
Now, you point out something that we celebrate here in the podcast a whole lot. We are living in an age where there's so many possibilities. I remember my first, when performing for kids became a business for me, and it meant doing everything. There was a lot of stuff that I needed to do, trademarks and all these kind of things, and so I had to depend. I had to pay an awful lot of money to people to do the, and even just creating the first website. It was long before there were these drag and drop kind of programs that allowed you to create a website. I had to spend thousands and thousands of dollars to create a website that just had like 2 or 3 pictures on it.
Right.
And now we're living in a time right now where you can go on to a site like Fiverr.com and team up with talented people from all over the world.
You can. Even social media, just reaching out in the beginning, I was sending my book. Who would have thought that I would be sending my book to the UK or Indonesia? Because you can connect, and a lot of people are so receptive to you, and they want to read the book, and they're excited, and they're happy to give you feedback. And so I did a lot of that, and I remind people all the time, I'm saying it's 2019. It's up to you how you use this technology. And reach out, make those connections.
And you're mentioning earlier that, people are busy and they're doing a lot, and so it takes a lot of time. You have to be patient, and yes, you may have to send out dozens and dozens of emails and do research on Fiverr or Alibaba or be talking to people on social media. But let's be honest, people are spending many hours on social media just like playing Candy Crush and chit-chatting and looking at pictures.
Right, that is so true, and it's up to you. We all have 24 hours in a day, and it's up to you really how you use it. And I have to get on myself sometimes. I go through my ups and downs. I'm just like, I'm tired, But one thing I will say, once you get the ball rolling, right, you start making these connections, and you got, like, right now my illustrator is working on a page in a Halloween book, right? So I may be working on something else, but I already started the ball rolling with him. He's going to come back with a new page that's going to get me excited again. So it's just all about, someone used to say that if you start doing something for 10 minutes and get it rolling, you keep going with it, right? It's just all about getting that momentum to do what you need to do. Even as simple as working out. The hardest part is getting to the gym. But once you're in there and doing it, and it's so much, it's worth it after you leave, right? It's worth it after you get the pictures. It's worth it after you get the book. When you do your shows and you get that feedback and you see how the kids and any reader, they light up, or you never know how you may inspire someone. That happens a lot by you telling your story, because we see a lot on TV, but you have to realize that they're real people too. Right. So they're not any alien or anything different, but it all comes with hard work, and there's no way around that. I had to find that out a few times. There's no way around the hard work at all.
But you're right, and that gym analogy was one that I was going to use. It's the hardest part of your workout is that first minute when you get on the machine or you start the run. It's those first few steps. But if you can push yourself over those first few steps, then it becomes fun.
Right. It sure does.
And it's the same if you're, thinking about writing a book. How many people are listening right now that have been, I want to write a children's book. I have this idea to write a children's book. I need to write this children's book, but it's just that inertia. They just aren't able to get over that initial hump. And I remember reading many, many years ago, reading a book by Stephen King on writing, and basically, the best advice that I can give to a writer, write.
Right. That is true. That is true. And I read the Power of Habit, I believe. And one thing that I like to do is to, cause I'm just creative. I like to be out and about and, talking to people and reading a book. That's what I love to do. And then when you sit me down in front of the computer, and I have to do the behind the scenes work, I'm like, okay, do I really have to? But it's all about, I like to group it. So maybe I listen to some music that I like. Maybe if I'm doing a business part of it, or sometimes lighting a candle that has a really nice smell that you like, and making those associations with getting that work done and keeping the momentum going.
Yeah. And it's the same with our kids too, whether we're helping them develop a bedtime routine, helping them develop a homework routine. My niece was over the other day, and she had procrastinated and put off this physics reading forever. and she came over and she said, "Well, I'm gonna go over and be with Jedley because I do work with him, and I guess it's because I bore her or something." But she came over, and even when we get together, she was procrastinating. But then finally, I just said, "Why don't you just read it out loud to me?" And she started, and wow, she just went for an hour and a half. Reading her summer physics homework to me over, and right now I know all about atomic clocks and geosynchronous satellite orbits, and
that is awesome. That is awesome. Did she thank you for that?
Oh,
she should.
Absolutely. But that's getting back to Buddy the Bear. This is a wonderful tool for families, not only to help their kids develop a bedtime routine, but as they get older, we can help them develop routines for all sorts of transitions. And the insight that we learn when we're using Buddy the Bear to help our kids develop that bedtime routine, we can put those same kind of strategies when we're helping them clean up when they're a little bit older, and then when they're going to school and getting ready in the morning for school and doing their homework when they're in high school and not leaving it till the last day at the end of summer vacation.
Exactly. That's very true. And just being prepared, it's going to bed, right? And when I go out and speak to students, I let them know, what is the importance of bedtime routines? Yes, it's to go to bed and to get a good night's rest, but what about the next day? You're ready for the next day. You're more prepared. You're not groggy and sleepy in class. You can retain the information. So you are making a better start for the next day by just taking that time to relax, disconnect, do something that you like, relaxing, and get a good night's rest.
And what a great way to teach them about making choices and understanding the benefits of when we're conscious of and making deliberate choices.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know that some people out there are going to want to choose to visit your website and find out all about Buddy the Bear and everything that Victoria Allen has put together and made available to us. So where can we connect with you online?
So online, I am on Instagram and Facebook at BuddyTheBearBooks.com. So that's BuddyTheBearbooks. And then also online, if you want to go to the website and check out Buddy and new adventures that he has coming out and maybe those glow-in-the-dark stars, you can find Buddy at BuddyTheBearBooks.com.
We have been having a great conversation with the author of Buddy the Bear and the CEO and driving force behind BuddyTheBearBooks.com, Victoria Allen. Victoria, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you so much for having me. I had a great time. And I'm going to go do my bedtime routine.
Please be sure to join us for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Our guest will be Kristen Mahoney. She is here to talk to us about her wonderful book, The 47 People You Will Meet in Middle School. What a great title. I just love it. If you are the author of a great children's book with an equally great title, we would love to have you as a guest on the Reading with Your Kids podcast. Being a guest is fun, it's easy, and it gives you the chance to tell thousands and thousands of people about your fantastic children's book. All you need to do is to go to our website, readingwithyourkids.com, click on the contact button, let us know about your great book. We'll let you know the next easy steps. We want to thank the people who made today's show so very wonderful. We want to thank Victoria Allen. Be sure to check out Buddy the Bear. I want to thank my amazing producer, Fatima Khan, for all she does. Be sure to check out her blog at readingwithyourkids.com. And, of course, I want to thank my beautiful wife for all of the support she gives me. And most of all, I want to thank you. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. And, as always, thank you so much for taking the time to make the world a better place by reading with your kids. I'll be looking for the next edition of the Reading with Your Kids podcast.